What is up, everyone? Technic here. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to install the Hexflow Launcher as well as other homebrew applications to customize your user interface. So, let's get started, shall we? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to head over to the VitaDB downloader. If you do not know about the VitaDB downloader, I will leave the previous video I made to install this application in the link of this description. So let's go ahead and go inside of the application. Now that we're in the VitaDB application, we're going to go up to the search bar and we're going to be typing in Hexflow and then press enter, and now we have an application called the Hexflow Launcher. So we're going to go ahead and click on it to download. Now that we have the Hexflow Launcher downloaded, we're going to go ahead and go back to the search bar and we're going to type in switch and we're going to be downloading the Switch View application. So go ahead and click on it to download. Alright, now that we have downloaded both of those applications, we're going to go ahead and back out to the home menu. And as you can see, we now have the Hexflow custom launcher, and we also have the Switch View launcher. Let's go ahead and check out both of the applications. We're going to go ahead and go into the Hexflow custom launcher. Now, big disclaimer, it may not display all of your items on the first go. So don't be alarmed if this does happen, because once we boot up into the launcher, as you can see, it says PS Vita. Now, if it says PS Vita, these are displaying all of your PS Vita games. If you were to press the square button, it can change the category of what it's going to display. So I can press the square button, and as you can see, it's displaying PSP games and items now. If I were to press the square button again, it's displaying all the PlayStation 1 items. And if I were to press the square button again, it's displaying recently played. If I pressed it one more time, it's displaying all of the items. Now, if it does not display anything for you, exit out of the application and try to go back into the application. In some cases, you may need to even turn off your PS Vita and turn it back on. It just takes a little bit of time for all of the applications to appear. If it appears for you on the first try, you're good to go. If not, keep on trying until it does. Sometimes it does take a few tries. I am using my editing magic because it actually took 3 times of closing the application for all of my items to appear. But as you can see, it displays all of my applications in a cool Hexflow like launch, and I like the view of it and everything. There is actually a different version of this application, and I will be glad to show you that one as well. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and back out of this application. The next application I wanted to talk about is called the Switch View. If y'all are familiar with the Nintendo Switch's look, this will be very, very familiar to you. So we're going to go ahead and go into the application and open it up. As you can see, it straight up looks like a Nintendo Switch with all of the functionalities that you can think of. it's just kind of converted into the more PSP type look to it. So you can basically, if you're on a PS TV, this would be your news app. This would actually be the PlayStation Store. This would be your photo album. And I really like how they kind of customized it to make it look like the Switch. It doesn't really show all of the application pictures and everything, but I think it's a very cool addition to the PS Vita when it comes to homebrew applications, because you can kind of like trick your friends into thinking, oh, look at my PS Vita. So I think it's a very it's a very cool launcher, in a sense of it, changing the user interface. If I were to go back into the Vita DB downloader again, and then I were to go to the search bar and type in Hex, we also have the Retroflow Launcher, so I'm going to go ahead and install this one as well. Once the application is installed, we're going to go ahead and close out of the Vita DB browser. And now we have the Retroflow Launcher. So now let's go ahead and go into the Retroflow Launcher application. And as you can see, after it installs the Adrenaline Retroflow Launcher application and a few more things, it's going to ask you to restart the Vita. We're going to go ahead and press X to restart the Vita. If we were to scroll down, as you can see, we have the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher, and we also have the Retroflow Launcher. Let's go ahead and check out the Retroflow Launcher first. So as you can see, it does look slightly different from the Hexflow Launcher with a little bit of customization. I do love the fact that the application kind of has a reflective, it's almost as if like the floor is glass or the floor is mirrored, and it kind of has a really cool look to it. I really like it. And we're going to go ahead and close out of this application as well. And another thing, before I do close, another thing that I really like about it is it kind of has a 3D look to all the applications. If you can kind of tell, you can really tell on the Adrenaline application. It's a nice 3D model. All right, let's go ahead and check out the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher now. And just like regular Adrenaline, it closes out and you have to reopen it again. So let's go ahead and open it again. Which I don't really have any applications for Adrenaline now that I think about it. When it comes to the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher, it's not exactly a UI interface change in a sense of what the PS Vita's looks like. It actually gives you an extra menu when you press the home button. So what I mean by that is, if I were to press the home button, you can see different options. You can enter into standby mode. You can open official settings. You can go to the live area screen, which is how you actually exit out of this application. So if you double tap the home button, it's actually not going to do anything. To exit out to the back to the PS Vita's user interface, you actually have to select the go to the live area screen. You can also exit the PSP MU application, which is exiting Adrenaline, and you can exit the Adrenaline menu. This is just to close out the menu. You can also just press the home button again to close out that menu. You can essentially is a launcher quick menu for your Adrenaline application. So you can have save states right here. You can change the settings. You can also change like graphic filtering and everything. I can actually explain this a lot better by showing you the background of this game. As you can see, it's kind of clear. I think this is probably the best option in my opinion. The sharp by linear simple. Sorry, I can't even speak. If I were to switch to original, as you can see, it looks a little blurry. If I were to switch it back, it's a little bit more clear. There is also other options as well. Like this is bilinear. This is sharp bilinear, which you can see the scan lines. This is advanced AA, which it's kind of it's a little bit blurry. It's a little bit more like the original, but a lot more clearer. And they didn't really put any sharpness to it, so you can kind of see more of a clear image. Like it's really hard to tell, but if it was like a side-by-side comparison, you can definitely tell. And then you can also do a original LCD 3 screen, which it has the scan lines and everything. It's almost reminiscent of a PS Vita 3000, or not PS Vita, PSP 3000. So it does have a little bit of the scan lines here and there, but the image is very clear. And this is the one that I'm kind of keeping on. I don't really mind the scan lines though, but that's what the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher is. It's kind of a quick menu for your PS Vita with several different options when it comes to Adrenaline anyway. You can also change the booter as well, so it has all of the options that you would need to play your PSP games on the Adrenaline application, and it's a very, very nice addition to Adrenaline. I personally really like this application because all of the customizable options are like right there at a press of a button, and the regular Adrenaline doesn't have that. So that's it for this video. In today's video, we did learn about a few cool applications that can change the user interface in not only the PS Vita's live area screen, but in the Adrenaline application as well. So the Hexflow Custom Launcher, the Switch View, the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher, and also the Retroflow Launcher. Those are all really cool applications to change the look of your PS Vita. I personally really like the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher just because it has all of the quick settings at a press of a button, as opposed to going into the regular option when it comes to Adrenaline or a hacked PSP. Most of the time you would have to hold the select button and do a couple other things to get to that menu, and that being said, you would also have to install additional plugins just to have some of those extra options as well. So I really do appreciate the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher because it gives an easier way to customize the Adrenaline application. That being said, the Switch View is definitely fun to use because it just looks like a Nintendo Switch. I gotta say, out of the 4 applications though, I do love the Retroflow Adrenaline Launcher, but the Retroflow Launcher, in my opinion, kind of it kind of took the top spot for me when it comes to all 4 of these applications, just because of the 3D style to everything. I find it very, very cool, and it just looks so smooth. It's like, this is so reminiscent of in a weird way, a PlayStation 2 home menu screen, because I love the 3D like the 3D towers and everything that used to be on there, and it kind of takes it a step further with the reflective ground to it. It's just a really, really cool application, and I like it. Other than that though, thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you dislike this video, please leave a dislike. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment. As I said, you might have to install, or you might have to close out of the application and go back into it a few times before it actually does work. As I said before in this video, it personally took me 3 times of closing the application for all the items to display, so it may take a few tries for all the items to appear. Other than that, this is Tech Dick. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.